So, continuing my theme of using my hot melt glue gun, I thought I'd try an outrageous idea. I've got all these mill ends. They're not dressed at all. They're sawn wood, but they're green. I think they at the sawmill they cut it up and then they stack it up to dry, etc. And these are the mill ends from it. And I've got a big pile out there that you saw earlier. So what I just will do a quick experiment just to see if using the rough surfaces and the hot melt glue, I first of all want to see whether or not they can stick together and whether that's strong enough. And if it is, then I plan to block some of this together and sculpt it, so it should be fairly quick. See if it works. Let's try these bits. That's end grain. Green sawn wood. Let's try a bit of heat gun. Okay, I'll just let that cool and see whether that is strong enough to sculpt with power carving tools. Oh, it already feels good. Okay, I've left it about maybe a minute. So let's just try that. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Yep, it's pretty good. Look, that's, don't know whether you can see, but the wood is actually broken away rather than the glue. So the idea that I've got is I might get a block, not necessarily this piece, I'll find a better one, and then I'll cut this at an angle and I'll glue this on there with the hot melt glue. Then I'll glue another piece on here, like so, and you can see what I'm getting at. It's going to be a mount. I'm going to do a reindeer. I'll do its ears like that, and or like that, and then I will put a branch in there so for the antlers. So it's going to be a wooden sculpted reindeer mount. I was wondering what I was going to do with this rather crappy piece of wood, but it's going to be the base for the mount. So let's do that. Okay, I think I'm going to have a little bit of trouble because the wood's very green and it doesn't stick as well to the smooth surface because it's wet, but I might leave it to dry a little bit, maybe even put a flame on it, but it does stick to this, so the rough surface will stick well. So which way does it go? That way. So I might just stick that down and see how that goes. The other one, the piece I did originally, worked really well, so let's see. Just mark that area. Again, this would work a lot better with nice dry wood, but I just thought I could try and make use of it as it is at the moment. So. How does that feel? It's pretty solid. Right, I think the ears will go about here. Mark that out. Some glue there. It cools down on the inside fairly quick, but it stays liquid on the outside for a bit of a while. That'll be one ear. This will be the other ear. Now I'll let that sit for a minute and then I'll put it in a vise and I'll sculpt the head like so. Then I'll join it to this, so it can either be glued on or screwed on. I guess a reindeer looks a bit like a kangaroo with horns. I should do a kangaroo, but it'll just look like a deer with no horns, a reindeer with no horns. Now comes the fun bit. I'm about to try and sculpt this into something that looks like a deer. And I'm going to use the turbo plane for most of the shaping. This is with the chip catcher, and can you believe it, I haven't got the tube that's supposed to come with it. Well, that does come with it because this is an early prototype. This is a bit loose, it shouldn't be. So anyhow, so it'll still throw the shavings out. But what I will do is give you a few tips on how to clean the shavings out if you don't have the guard. With the tube, you can just put it into a bucket that just catches all the shavings, but I'm going to have them all over my workshop, and I'll show you how I clean that. Look at that, already starting to look like it. So it's starting to look a bit more like a, well, actually it's starting to look a bit more like a dog, isn't it? But then, you know, I don't really know what a deer looks like, frankly. I think the horns will help. So, so it's getting there pretty easily, fairly quick. You'll notice that the shavings are in fact flying all around, and that's because I also don't have the propeller that goes in behind there and is used for the vacuum, so the shavings are going elsewhere. But no matter, I'm quite used to it, so let's continue. So now I'm taking the carving disc off. I'm going to take all of the bits off. This is a nice thing about the chip catcher. And then I put on a sanding disc, and I'm going to put on a fairly rough sanding disc. I like to do a lot of the final shaping with the rough sanding disc. I prefer it to the burst because they tend to scratch too deep, and with the rough sanding disc I can do the quick shaping, and then I just go down quickly through a couple of grades of paper and get it quite smooth, all with the one tool. And it works really well with the dust extractor too, so I'll actually connect this up for that. As I said, it's pretty green wood, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to sand, but we'll find out. Okay, here's on. This is actually always a really nice bit when you sand the shape down, so I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see what happens. See, my workshop floor is covered in sawdust or shavings, and I'll now show you how I clean it. I always have it out open to the bush outside. I can just use a blower. That's what I always do. So I just blow it all out, and then I pick up anything that shouldn't be blown out. Rope can stay. These branches, they're a bit rough. Probably should get another couple, but they've still got the bark on it. I'll just pretend that's the felt. I'll just work out the rough angles and stick them in, and pretty well done, as far as I'm concerned. I'm purposely doing the holes a little bit bigger than the stick so that I can adjust it as I go. That. That's it, I'll just glue them in. So once again, my old favourite, decking oil, good for wooden decks, fences, bird houses, and wooden reindeer mounts. this has literally taken me, I mean, and I'm filming and everything, but it was all in real time, but it's literally taken me at the most 2 hours, including the breaks, to do other stuff. So this is a very quick project again. Here's my wooden reindeer. I'll let it dry and then I'll mount it on the wall back there.